This is going to be a nightmare to edit. So this has been a really long time since I just talked to a camera and no one else in the room. Feels weird just to do it all the time. It's been a long time now. Feels really weird. I just want to get up to speed on what I've been doing with my YouTube, why I haven't done anything in almost 4 months, what my plans are, and currently my plans are very thin, few and far between for a number of reasons. I'm going to get into all of this. There are so many things that I want to do with my YouTube, with so many things that I just want to do. I still want to make Game of Thrones controllers. I'm having fun with it, and the few of you that talk to me about it say that you like watching me play, and a couple of you, because you know me in life, and that it reminds you of us all playing together, and we used to have a lot of fun doing that kind of thing. Everything's been really weird the last several months. Right around the time that I recorded Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I think, or it might have been when I recorded, well, it was playing the game, but I don't remember if it was when I was playing as Sonic and Tails or as Knuckles. I had a bit of a family emergency. I may as well address this. I know that it was during the time that Sonic 3 and Knuckles, playing as Sonic, was being uploaded, because that went through all the way till like mid-November. This happened at the very end of August, so that might actually not quite add up mathematically. End of August, I and my pregnant wife, we had to go into the hospital. Jenny was having some strange pains and some strange feelings, and over the course of that week she was having spiking blood pressure, and the doctors were telling us that it sounded like preeclampsia, though her primary doctor was telling her that if it was preeclampsia, it was the strangest case he'd ever seen. And turns out he was right, and they called it sudden onset severe preeclampsia. It came on very quickly, and on August 26th, they performed an emergency C-section. They gave us about an hour warning that this was going to happen, so we had almost no time to gather around people for us to emotionally lean on. At least maybe even just for me to emotionally lean on, because once everything began, Jenny, my wife, was just, she wasn't even in contact with the world the rest of that day. My daughter Jasmine was born that afternoon, and 3 days later she died. She was 15 weeks premature, and it was just an uphill struggle the whole way, and she made it for 3 days, and we got the call to go down there, and she held on long enough for us to get there, and then she died. And I lost a lot of my spark after that. I'm almost certain that I recorded Sonic 3 and Knuckles as Knuckles after that. And you'll notice there's only one part of that up on my YouTube, whereas I plan on having at least 2 more, and it's, again, something else I'm going to get into. And it was either during the recording of that or during the recording of Sonic 3 and Knuckles as Sonic that I mentioned a family emergency, and this is what it was. That creative spark lost is not the reason why I've gone 4 months without uploading a video. I am currently struggling with a lapse in technology that has literally made it unable for me to edit videos unless I can piece together a I don't want to say piece together a better computer, because I don't believe the computer is the problem, but I can't pin it on anything else. I've got an issue where I'm using the same program on the same computer to edit my videos that I've done for all of my previous videos thus far, going all the way back to Conquer. That poor project that I would love to revive one day. I don't know if I'm going to get to. The program that I'm using, it's just standard Windows Movie Maker. I don't even remember what version it is. What? About? Okay, it's version 5.1 of Windows Movie Maker. It's built for XP, which is what I'm running. I could list down all of my specs. I could tell you everything that it is that I'm running. Close these. And you could point to any of them and tell me that it's the problem, but I can tell you this now: I've used the same computer with the same program to edit all of my videos, and very, very recently, with my Knuckles playthrough, I did change the way that I was editing, but I did not change the program or the computer. I changed the way that I edit. And the result has been that the, 5 or 10 minute video that I have on my YouTube, I forget which one it is, I'm not even going to bother looking it up, took me 3 days to put together and compile the way that it is. Whereas it would normally take me, to accomplish the same goal, it would have taken me maybe about an hour if I'm being really patient about what I'm doing and really focusing in the detail, or as short as 20 minutes if I've already got my framework set up and I'm just fitting the new videos in, which I did for that 10-parter, Sonic 3 and Knuckles as Sonic. Within the first couple of videos, I had worked out what framework I was going to use to fit all the rest of them together, and then I just started swapping out the old videos in favor of into the new ones, into the existing framework. Splice around a little bit to where I needed to be done with it. 20 minutes. 3 days I worked on that one video, and it is all because, again, I can't point to what the problem is. I would go to maneuver through Windows Movie Maker, like click my cursor onto another spot in the video, and 10-15 minutes later the program would finally be caught up enough for me to do anything from that point, which usually meant I had to play the clip at that point to make sure I was exactly where I wanted to be before I made my cut, right? My Knuckles playthrough of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, there was a lot of cut-ins and cut-outs because I was just trying to keep the action going, and admittedly that playthrough is one of my less entertaining ones. I just wanted to show up the best parts, right? You know, and rather than be a full play, it was just like a highlight reel almost. I'm not gonna lie, if I decided not to do it that way, it would have been the same stuff, plus all the in-between bits, but I found it to be less engaging. I sort of get the feeling that with my previous Sonic videos, that they would be watched, but you would watch it for a couple minutes maybe, grab your mouse and click ahead 3 or 4 minutes, look for some funny stuff. Oh, there was a boss battle back there, let me back up, watch the boss fight, that kind of thing. And I can't prove that that's what you guys did, and it doesn't matter to me necessarily that that's what happened, but I would just assume that all of my video be entertaining, not 30-second snippets of it here or there where people would click around to try to find them. I would just assume make the entire thing that, and that's what I tried to do. And that was the result that I got, is that it got so ridiculous. I would incorporate it into my normal web browsing. I would have my window open over here, then I had Movie Maker, and I would click to the new spot where I needed to do something and go, alright, I'll come back in 15 minutes. And then it got to the point where even that, it still wasn't ready to do anything yet. I couldn't make a cut there. I couldn't, until it was ready to go. I'm rambling a lot, and that's because I don't have any sort of a script for this kind of thing. I just wanted to sit down and I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about the channel. I want to talk about what I've done and all the things that I want to do. I'm making a lot of arm movements off camera that you can't even see. This webcam, I'm doing this on a webcam. This is how I've done all of my audio thus far, is through a webcam, because I did not have any other means to record just audio to an undetermined length, instead of having to decide ahead of time how long the audio file is going to be, because I don't know. I had no idea that Sonic 3 and Knuckles played through with Sonic and Tails was going to be 2.5 hours. Sonic 1 was 1 hour. 2 was hour and a half. 4 parts and 5 parts. So like an hour and 15 was Sonic 2. I really was thinking, oh, okay, I got a feeling that Sonic 3 and Knuckles is probably going to be like 6 or 7 parts. Turned out to be 2.5 hours, and it was 10 parts, breaking it up into approximately 15-minute segments. And I dedicated so much energy to creating that list of videos, and I was so proud that I did it, that I kept up on it every week. I got to a point where I actually got ahead of myself making the videos, and I started uploading them early and then just setting them to show up at the appropriate time, because it was really bugging me that I would fall behind on that noon on Monday type of thing. That was my goal, was noon every Monday. I wanted to have the next video up. I think during Sonics 1 and 2 I fell behind a bit, and I vowed to not let that happen again, and I was really proud of myself. I kept it up. And then the fact that I couldn't follow that up with the playthrough with Knuckles is really irritating me. Now, yeah, again, you could tell me that the problem that I was having with Windows Movie Maker was, when's the last time you did a scan on your computer? Did you defrag? When's the last time you can tell me all of those things, and I can tell you I've done them all. Whatever you can think of to tell me that could be done, I've done. And the program just does not flow the way that it did, and this all came up within like the span of a month. From the time I finished doing Sonic 3 and Knuckles with Sonic, because that didn't give me any problems, to doing the edit work on the Knuckles playthrough, it just lagged to a crawl, and to the point where I could not continue doing it. There are other games that I still want to play, that I want to record. I wanted to, before I had this problem, I had lined up that I was going to do a playthrough of a game I've never played before, Aladdin. I wanted to play through the Aladdin video game, I believe that was also for Genesis, and dedicate that to my daughter Jasmine, because it is, among many sources, Princess Jasmine was one of the sources where she got her name, and I wanted to do that. And until I can come up with a decent editing ability, I can't do that yet. I'm not even going to try to record that until I know I can do something with the footage. Speaking of recording, though, I had mentioned at one point trying to do a playthrough of Pokemon Red version, and I got quite a bit of feedback through Facebook, like what starter I should pick and whatnot, and I actually recorded a half an hour of this game, I believe, only to find that the emulator I was unfortunately using absolutely blows chunks at capturing its own game. I found this out far too late, after I had a really good half an hour of stuff done. What happened was, again, take this half an hour, right? The video began at right around the 15-minute mark. Everything that had happened before that seemed to have been lost, and the video just began in the middle part. And then it would carry on, but the file length was still the same. It was still that half an hour that I had predicted, so I let it go for that 15 minutes to see what happened after the fact. And after the 15-minute part, it jumped back to approximately a quarter of the way into the video. So like the second quarter of it, played through that, and then when it essentially caught up to the middle part where the video began, the last quarter of the video was just a screwed up still frame of that bit and the only usable footage that I come up with is my webcam commentary, which I've taken to calling commentary, because I love cheesy analogies and cheesy references. There exists that commentary for that Pokemon game. There's also commentary for Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and I didn't even look to see if I did commentary for Knuckles, the Knuckles playthrough, which I'm almost certain I did, because this is how I record audio. My mouth is dry. Eating too many chips. Jump in, let's save the world. Kick off your shoes and put on your sunglasses. The song's been in my head for days now. Other things I wanted to do with this channel. I don't even remember now if I finished the point that I was trying to get to. Part of my problem is that I'm a bit of a scatterbrain. There are 1,000 things that I have in my mind to do, 1,000 things that I want to do. My heater's kicked on. I bet that sounds really interesting. There's going to be this cutaway, and then there's going to be this sudden change in the sound. I got 1,000 things that I want to do, but my brain jumps from one to the next before I can pin anything down with actual action or actually getting any work done on them. But the things I want to do with this channel, game of thought is something that I want to do. That is taking a look into the games and putting together theories on what's going on in certain games that has not been directly told to us. We see this a lot in the internet. Game theory itself, MatPat. Shout out to you if you ever actually hear me make this reference about you. We've not talked before. I watch your stuff. And the Brandon Brownson does Theory Addict. Again, TVB, if you somehow find out that I've mentioned you, you and I have talked briefly through Tumblr and back and forth on YouTube through your comment section. Loyal fan. Hi. I wanted to do that kind of a thing, and I called it Game of Thought, but rather than have it be fan theories that have been come up with and that litter the internet, I want to come up with my own. And I have one so far. I've got the beginnings of a second one. Both of them take place within the game of Conquer the Bad Fur Day. For one of them, I had the entire theory typed up. I recorded the audio on that. That exists. I just don't have any video to put with it yet, which is why I began my playthrough on Conquer. I did that so that I could acquire that game footage, as opposed to going around through YouTube or any other source and begging somebody else that's done the same thing to allow me the use of their footage. I would just assume create my own, since I planned on playing the game anyway. And then of course I get 3 episodes into it and I get an upgraded computer and I can no longer play Conquer on it, because I was not playing that one on an emulator. I played that one on console. The program that I was using to pick up the N64's AV ports and display them on screen for me to record didn't work the same way on the new computer as it did on the previous computer. Could not get it to work. I finagled with it for a good couple of weeks straight and finally gave up on it, and I'm waiting for a time when I can get a hold of a device that's specifically designed for what I'm trying to do, capture console gameplay. I'm eventually going to get to a point where I can capture, if I can get something that will capture AV or even HDMI, if I can capture with those, I want to finish my playthrough of Conquer. I've got a bunch of Xbox 360 games that I want to play through, not the least of which is the Saints Row series. I love the Saints Row games, and I have every one of them on the 360. I also have Saints Row 4 again on PS3 because my wife is awesome and wanted me to have it there because we were able to get it with 100% of its DLC included. So she would not let me pass up that opportunity, and I love her for that, and I thank her. I want to finish Conquer, However, I have to acknowledge that Nintendo is doing this new thing. I say it's new, but it was a hot button topic to talk about for YouTube last month, and now, and I'm only just now talking about this now. That being that Nintendo goes to claim all of your type of revenue type of thing from your Let's Plays, and then decides if you're worthy enough to get any of it back. That's a very biased perception of it, and it's probably not in reality the way that I'm describing it to you, but I was just irritated hearing the story, and those are my feelings on it. And I might just go the way that other gameplay channels have gone, and that being, I'm just not going to do Nintendo games then. And that would mean that I'm not doing Conquer, that would mean I'm not doing Pokemon, and that's unfortunate and that's depressing, but maybe I can do all that on Twitch instead. I'm attempting to get to streaming on Twitch, however, that problem is with the I think, and with the computer being that it's just not quite powerful enough. Also, my internet is not quite powerful enough for me to reliably stream. I haven't actually gotten a successful stream going yet. But it's going to happen though. I'm going to damn insist on it because I've been watching Twitch a lot more lately. I'm really getting into the idea of speedruns, and I've been watching people. Most recently, I've been watching speedruns of Pokemon Red. I've watched a couple speedruns of Conker's Bad Fur Day, and interestingly, Super Mario 64. This was a game that I never really got into. I never owned it, but I've been watching it a lot lately, and I've always liked the game. I just never owned it, and I've certainly never beat it. But I'm fascinated by the different kinds of speedruns that there are for it, and I would almost be willing to try it. I'm not going to be doing any of that stuff until I can reliably stream to Twitch, or I suppose to any other streaming service, live stream or Ustream or what have you. I'm working on that. I can't say that I'm getting anywhere, because what I've found is that I have the program. It took me a long time to find the program because Chrome is a fucking Nazi, and if you go to the wrong page, if it doesn't like the page that you've gone to, it will absolutely block everything that you've done, that it has on it. It'll block everything. You can't see it, and it did that on both of the XSplit page and OBS, which are the two programs that it is advised that you use to stream to Twitch. Both of them Chrome absolutely hated, and I fought to finally get a hold of XSplit, which I've toyed around with. XSplit drags my computer down to a crawl, and between XSplit and LiveSplit, which is the timer program that most speedrunners use, the two of them absolutely eat up all of the memory in the computer, and it leaves it nothing to maintain itself, much less actually send signal through up into the internet. The computer's just not powerful enough for that, and even when I get to that point, I doubt that my internet's powerful enough yet. But maybe with internet being reclassified as a basic utility, maybe that'll be changing. Maybe not. I suppose we'll have to see. That's all in due time. I got out of work today. It was still daylight. For the first time since winter began, I got out of work and it was still daylight outside. And that, to me, is one of the first things to suggest that brighter days are coming, that winter is more or less fucked off. Because I like the details like this, I'm going to the weather to a weather site now to either confirm or absolutely botch everything I've just said. But it's currently the 21st of March, Saturday, which I do believe is actually the first official day of spring. Chance of snow. This is not what I was intending to. I want to pick up my train of thought again because I've lost it. I want to do a thing like this, probably not as long. I want to do a thing where I just begin talking about whatever it is that is bugging me that week. I've got a number of things that I've been wanting to complain about. A few of them have had to do with YouTube, but not all of them. I wanted to do a series on the things that gaming has taught me, and that's not just video gaming, because I have also done like tabletop role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder, and I'm a big fan of Pathfinder. I've been running Pathfinder games since the year that Pathfinder became a thing. I didn't realize at the time how much I really didn't even know about Dungeons and Dragons until I started running Pathfinder, and I had to learn the hard way a lot of how the game is played and a lot of its mechanics. I'm not going to get into those right now. This wasn't even originally going to be for the YouTube channel. I just wanted to make a comprehensive list of the things that I'm going to do when I take over the FCC, because I am annoyed by a lot of what I see in media. Specifically, I'm annoyed by commercials. It's not that I don't want to see commercials, because I don't mind commercials. This is one of the things that I'm going to talk about in a different video, and that's my ranting about YouTube ads. I used to be really big into professional wrestling, and I still watch, but I haven't really talked about it much. I don't think I've talked about it at all in any of my videos thus far. I've talked a little bit about it with TBB. I don't talk about it much anymore. Nobody's really listening to what I have to say on that kind of a subject. I used to do a report show on the happenings in professional wrestling with my wife. We called it Mark and the Ring Rat. If you really want to go and find it, whatever, it's still out there somewhere, but we're not doing it anymore. I don't think we're going to start it back up. Here's something I've been wanting to do. This is not wrestling related. I wanted to make a channel trailer for Game of Thrones controllers, and I wanted to use the same song that you hear at the beginning of the game videos, which is a song that I originally recorded myself. I did that back in 2002. I wanted to take that song, put some game footage behind it, essentially turn it into a channel trailer. Here's my problem. The song is right about 2 minutes long, which is not very long for most music. Most songs are like 2.5, 3.5 minutes long. If I want to make that a channel trailer, 2 minutes is a long trailer. And granted, there's probably something I could do to shorten that up to about like 1.5 minutes if I remember how the song is put together. I want to do that, for one, because it's the song that I've been using to lead my game videos. It's my own work, and 1.5 minutes is a bit too long for an ad. And channel trailers are typically what a channel would put out as its commercial if they were trying to advertise for its channel. And there comes the problem of attempting to edit a video together to go on top of that song, with my editing problems being the way that they are. Until I can figure something out, most of my content, if any, is going to be like this, and it's going to be me talking about into the camera. It probably will be me discussing what's irritating me that week. You know, the YouTube ads thing that I'm going to get into. I've got a handful of other things that I've been wanting to talk about. Like, I don't think I would get too heavy leveled on those type of things. I don't even think I know what that phrase means. I don't think I would get into like huge monstrous topics. I don't think I would go into politics, religion. I wouldn't think I would discuss great unhappy subjects like death and whatnot, and like until there comes a time that I need to. It's the first world problems. It's the casual annoyances, right? It makes us feel better about ourselves and each other to look at this thing. Yeah, look at this person that has slower internet than I do. That makes me feel better about myself. These are the things I think about in the night. I'm not even sure what it is that I would ask from any of you guys, any of my viewers, with regards to what I should be doing with this channel. I don't have any questions. All of my questions are directed at myself, and because I'm the one that's trying to figure out what to do. I could just as easily ask you guys what you would want me to do, but I'm currently limited to what you see right here until I can get the editing situation figured out. This is what I'm restricted to, and I've lapsed on it. I've lapsed on the research because it's just been infuriating and frustrating. And Jenny actually has she's got an updated Movie Maker, and I'm kind of used to Movie Maker. I've also been using I've had VideoPad, and I like both of them. But both of them are giving me monstrous problems on this computer. Jenny's gotten it much more advanced and up to date, and I think it might even be the most recent version of Movie Maker. And something happened between the XP version and the version that she's got, because I can't make heads or tails out of it. It might just be that I'm completely new to the format, but it just feels so much more complicated. I have not yet figured out how to use it. If and when that changes, I would probably be hammering down to use her laptop all the time for that, and she'd probably get very irritated with me very quickly. Maybe with Game of Thought, since I have one from ready to go, and I could simply use the audio and then, instead of game footage, put up still frame pictures and see if that wouldn't work any better for me. At least that would work alright with the first theory. But there would be parts of it that would irritate the crap out of me if I couldn't get a video. I'm going to end this off before I ramble myself off a cliff. If you've got anything that you would want to say, suggest, ask, whatever, I'm always open to the feedback. Just know that everything that I've said I want to do, I still have every intention of doing. I still have every intention to finish editing and uploading Sonic 3 and Knuckles as Knuckles, and to do Aladdin, to do I would love to finish Conquer. I'd love to finish other Nintendo games. I don't know if that's going to happen. I kind of doubt it. I want to get streaming. I want to get Game of Thought. I want to just get my own thoughts out, and come hell or high water, I'm going to do it. And if you're there to see it, all the better. Have a good night. Enjoy the warm weather coming our way. We'll catch you later.